Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on the show called Kebably. Or yeah, that's right, you guessed it, I make kebabs. But I've done a lot of other things, like work at some of the best fine dining restaurants that Florida has to offer, such as Burns Steakhouse, Mitchell's Fish Market, The Palm, and even the Rusty Pelican. To see me make other things like pork loin with bucatini and golden beets, you'll just have to stick around. Pork loin is the filet mignon of steak. Literally, they are the same cut of meat, just from a different animal. It is very soft, lean, and flavorful. Today, I'm going to show you all how to make pork loin and bucatini with golden beets. Start by slicing the pork into thin medallions. Thin medallions make it easy for the marinade and seasonings to penetrate the meat and create all the way through flavor. Just add olive oil, herbs de Provence, and a pinch of salt. Allow it to marinate while we make the pasta. Making pasta is very easy. Do not be intimidated, you can make pasta from scratch. Just crack 2 eggs into a bowl. Add about 1 tablespoon of olive oil and a pinch of salt. Whisk the eggs together first, before adding 1 cup of flour. This ensures that your eggs will become well dispersed into the dough. Mixing it together with a fork first keeps your hands from getting excessively messy. Once your dough and ingredients have started to become one, then you can add a little bit more flour, just to keep it from sticking to your hands and your work surface. Then fold the dough over and punch it down repeatedly. Do this until you feel the dough starting to become more resistant. At this point, you can add a little bit of olive oil to the outside and wrap it in plastic. It needs to rest in the refrigerator before you can roll it out. Now we can work with our beets. Just cut the ends off of the beets, place them into a strainer, and into a pot with only enough water to steam them. Creating a makeshift lid out of aluminum foil allows you to make a steam vent and keeps you from washing another dish. About 12 minutes later, they will be tender. Now smother them in ice and water to stop the cooking process. This is a standard restaurant style cooking process. It is called blanching. While those beets are relaxing, let's make some bucatini. Just turn the pasta ball into smaller golf ball sized pieces and dust them with flour before dropping them into the hopper. When the pasta is pushed out to your desired length, slide the cutter and immediately dust the bucatini with flour. This prevents it from sticking to itself and the work surface. Now that the beets have cooled off, peel the skin off and cut them into bite-sized pieces. If you hear beets and you think gross, try following these steps. I promise you it will change your mind. Not only are they a little sweeter than the red ones and they look beautiful, but they are nutritious, low in calories, and a great source of fiber, folate, and vitamin C. This is an important cooking lesson, so pay attention. Cooking meat about 70% on one side allows it to build color, and color is flavor. Do not forget that. Just like our beets, we are going to do a 2-step cooking process. Sear the pork medallions first. Do this over a medium-high heat, but allow the pan to be thoroughly hot before putting the pork in. The olive oil that the pork has marinated in is just enough to caramelize and build a crust on the meat. If you add oil to the pan, it will be too much and the pork will not sear appropriately. After the pork has built some color, we will put it in the oven and use the same pan to cook the beets. Just turn it over and touch it on the other side before pulling it off of the heat. Repeat this process for the rest of the pork medallions. Once they are all done, sprinkle a little bit of fresh herbes de Provence and add some butter to the pan. It will only take a couple of minutes in the oven for it to cook all the way through. The meat can even rest on the counter while we cook the beets. In the same pan, over medium-high heat, add the blanched beets and some butter. Just cook them until they have become soft, tender, and absorbed the butter. You can turn the burner down to warm once they are finished, just allowing it to stay hot while we cook the noodles and cook the pork. Add oil and salt to the pasta water. Turn it on medium-high. Be careful because fresh pasta has the potential to boil over. Oops. Strain the pasta and put it into a bowl. Add some butter nubs and cover it with aluminum foil so the pasta absorbs the butter. Allow it to sit like that just until the pork medallions are finished cooking all the way through. Stack the noodles up in the corner of the plate. This way, you can fan the beets out directly in front of it. Layer the pork like you are a casino porker dealer. Do not waste any of that au jus though. Pour some over the meat and pour some over the noodles for a little bit of extra flavor. "100% of the profits from this video goes to saving land seals from volleyball string lines. Please like, please subscribe."